brand jogre markets moro kankadde naye ate yo nnungi Solomon morning. So good morning Blair, good morning Chris Fitness, Habat. I hope you guys we're still going on with the same broadcast. Before you buy a car, some of the people that have made to pay consultation fee are asking me questions that I have the answers, that need the answers I'm giving today. Now, this doesn't mean that you should not contribute. You should tell us, what should someone think about before they buy their car, their next car, their first car? What is that one thing that you think a person should think about? What is that one thing or a cup or combination of things that someone should not ignore as they prepare to buy a car? That's what we're talking about today. Why? Because majority of people that call me these days are asking me that very question. Good morning, Mark. And I realized I've been answering this question for a very long time, but I think because there seems to not be a video this specific year that talks about that, because I think we did that broadcast last year and people don't want to go through videos. Boba Chigana, morning council, church again and mass of council. Yeah. So people don't want to go through videos. So I make an updated video now. So that someone knows what they should look out for as they plan to go and buy their car. Now, it's important for us to always remember that buying a car is not just about buying a car. No. Buying a car is also about spending your money. And you have to understand that once you spend that money, you've spent it. Sente jolina yeyo. Sente jolina yeyo. Sente kasite kuva mu ngalo negenda wo omuntu omulala ebe efuuse yiye. I was going through WhatsApp the other day and I saw the person had on their status that people's loyalty is tied to what they get from you. Once you have nothing that they want, then it's over. That's the same thing that happens with money. You have to understand that sente zagala, and if you let money go like it's useless, it will go and it doesn't come back. So buying a car can either be you wasting your money or you spending your money wisely. So before you buy that car, you have to think really closely. You have to really think carefully and be sure that, first of all, not just the car. You sound not fine. I'm actually fine. But I refuse to take tablets for flu. I'm very, very okay. I don't know which man if you're a Kampala one, flu is not a disease. You have an immunity, which is what I am. Yeah. But anyway, so regardless of where you're from, regardless of your income levels, regardless of your status, before you buy a car, maybe your blog where they can read a summary of what they talk. Yeah, I think I already have a post on that on my website, Buy a Car Kampala. I've just renewed it. as expiring today. So for the guys that like to read, you go to my blog by Kampala. You can read that post. I already have it. Happy day. Thank you, Hanifa. I hope you're doing well. Meanwhile, the chat replay has disappeared again. I'm using desktop. Really? You could probably leave the broadcast and then come back again. Why is my village town? I think should be what's the purpose that car you need. Exactly. Thank you, Paul. You need to think, what do I want this car for before you buy it? Emoke egenda kuba area sape egenda kuba ina sente zereta egenda kuba ina kizibu kye solving, because you need to think about all this. And then when you figure that out, then the next thing is, can I afford this car? Can I afford this car? Because there is wanting to buy a car, you should not be buying it because you can't afford it. Now, we have this belief that a Moroccan car is a zifa, that a Moroccan car is a new set, which I found to not be true. I've been noticing people that bought new cars, probably at the time of after I bought this Corolla Namokade. And I've looked at people that bought those cars, and I've noticed them spend money on their cars. How much money I've spent on my car, how much money they spent on their car, and the only amount that I've spent on my car that I've not spent on their cars is the amount that I've spent on buying a new engine for my car. But guess what? Even when I bought a new engine for my car, I did not get the amount they spent on their car. Yet I move a bigger distance than they do every day, and my car never really breaks down. Can I really afford the car? Last time, the time that we bought the Nua, the day we bought the Nua, on that day I helped two people get cars. I helped the guy, the gentleman that bought a Nua, and then I helped the gentleman that bought a Harrier the same day. It so happened that the day before I was very busy, so both these two people contacted me. One called me and another sent me a WhatsApp message. So the first person that called me, I told him, send me money to book tomorrow. And he sent money, did not talk to me again. So later on in the night, someone sent me a WhatsApp message and says, I'm coming tomorrow morning. We will meet at around 11. And since this other person also on the phone told me around 11, I thought it's the same person that sent me a WhatsApp message. I said, okay. So in the morning, the person that sent me money doesn't call me, but this other person calls me, says I'm setting off from Ginger. I say, okay. So that let's meet at City Oil Kamocha. And okay, I drive, we go to City Oil Kamocha. I meet this guy and I start talking about the new one. This guy is like, no, but I'm not buying a new, I'm buying a Harry. And I say, okay. So just like that, I had two people that I was working with, and this person, and this person also gave me money. So I said, okay, since the other person was buying on loan, he had his own distributor, I said that would be like easy peasy. 1 hour, we choose the car and we are done, and then we proceed with the Harrier. It's exactly what we did. And so what did I learn in this situation? The person that bought the Harrier bought it at 26 million cash. He had more money, but I've always told you guys, my goal is always make sure that you keep money. Go to buy a car, go back home with money. That's exactly what I made sure of. And the person of the Nua bought a new car. New cars are new cars, man. They feel new, they feel good, they feel everything new. But one thing that I learned, of course, this person is a loaded person, the one that got a Nua. He didn't get a new on credit because he could not afford to buy it cash. He just wanted the other 20-something million to be doing his own business. That's still okay. But if you're not the kind of person that actually has the money, like if you want to buy a car at 25 million and you have 10, okay, I'd rather you borrow a car of 15 than a car of 25. That's because then you can't afford the car of 25. You just can't. Even the car of 15, you can't. But a credit of 5 million is better than a credit of 15 million. You get, especially if you can't afford it. Which take it. If you can afford a car of 25 and you just want to spend 10 million now, that's a different case. You could use the remaining 15 million to make more money, probably make like 30 million, and then you pay the balance. But if you can't afford it, you just can't afford it. Before you buy something, think. And if you need a guardian angel, always have a guardian angel by your side to help you make a decision. Sometimes abantu are making up their mind. So the new one we bought was a 2008 model. The Harrier we bought was a 2005 model. Both these cars were okay. The new one had nothing, no work to be done. The Harrier had a shock, one shock absorber that was bad, and one tire that needed replacement. And the rubbers on the doors were not very well. You know this guy, because we got the Harrier from a carbon. So we could not get a Harrier from out. The only Harrier that we were expecting to get from outside the port, the owner, I think, changed his mind on selling. And it wasn't the color we wanted. So, you know the guys in ponds, what they do, they wash. And when they wash, they remove almost everything. So I think the guy that washed this Harrier removed the rubbers and placed them back badly. So it was leaking a little. That's what happened. Away from that, before you buy a car, you need to think to yourself, do I need this car? Now, needing doesn't really say that that car should be doing something that's life-saving for you. You may need your car just for safety. I've told you guys time and again that borders are really expensive in the long run. They are cheap in the short run, but in the long run they can mean to be expensive. We all know someone that got a very terrible accident on a border. We all know someone that got a very terrible accident when they were crossing a road that they wouldn't have been crossing if they had their own car. You get? That doesn't mean that people that have cars don't get accidents, but the chances of getting those bad accidents are actually very limited. If you have, you see now the distance I've driven from my home to here, I've not crossed a single road, okay? Which means I've eliminated all those chances of accidents while crossing. I've not sat on a border that is reckless, so I've eliminated those chances as well. And yes, there are big lorries that could knock me down, squash my car, and I could be squashed with the car together. You saw what happened to these guys that wanted to explore the Titanic. Something close to that could happen to me if a lorry came, but that chance is very limited, and you can try to avoid it by trying to avoid being before a lorry down hills and after a lorry up hills. That's something that you can do. So I've eliminated a lot of chances. So borders and moving on foot or in taxi can be very expensive in the long run. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, for the past videos, no, it comes. It's a setting I have to figure out. Take care. I'm had corona just recently, so take medication. Ne corona nze bangema. Ha. Kajamkawa. Ngetu batulumba. Ngakanji. So anyway, good morning, Richard. Good morning, Arthur. I'm following from Mubende municipality. Yes, no, but how are you? How is Mubende? I only see the chat on live broadcast. One time it appeared after I logged into YouTube, but a few days later it was gone. I'm going to figure out that setting for you. I'm going to try and figure it out. Omutonyo gwachi. Kamaro kake katono konyenyezago mutwe nano kudda maaso. Just kulaga nti nsobola. Abantu abamu abalina emitwe eminene okusigisinga ogwange mulekerawo okuginyenyezanga abantu. Okuba kuba engombe bitagira ate onyenye ekitwe kinene. Aite mungamba to be humble. Waliwo abantu abamu betataga kubeera humble. Tebetaaga kubeera humble. Okay. Benjamin, remove disappearing messages. Ngoja natagamba bya WhatsApp. Good morning, Chris Da Vinci. Good morning, Jerome. But a personal car is more safer than taxi and borders. Thank you, Paul. That's one reason to buy a car. But then you have to think to yourself, how much money should I invest in a personal car? That's very important for you to think about. How much should you invest in a personal car? Because it's not like the more expensive your car is, the safer you are. It has never been like that. You see that Romeo in front of me? It's about 30 million, right? This RAV4 in front of me, it's about, let's say, 12 million. The Wish in front of me is about 18 to 20 million. The Regius there, Eringa Monana. But we enjoy almost the same amount of safety. You may actually find that my Corolla is safer than the Regius, because the Regius, this guy is way closer to the engine than I am. We all enjoy the same amount of safety. If a Sino truck were to knock us, Fena would actually get squashed if a Sino truck was speeding enough. Arthur, today the screen is narrowed down. Are you sure? It's the same screen that I actually do. Maybe the setting is with your phone. It's the same. I think it's just the environment we are in. Normally we start with the northern bypass. The northern bypass is wide and all. Arthur, digital number plates, but handicap your call enforcement, and how much are they? I don't think digital. Personally, I don't think digital number plates will work. They might work, but I personally think digital number plates will not work. Why? That's very advanced for the kind of country that we live in. It's too advanced. So many things have failed to work. It might be just a ploy for someone to eat money, and once they've eaten enough, they'll just let it go. You saw what happened with Safe Drive Uganda. You remember that inspection warehouse that was constructed on almost all major roads? Maybe someone wanted to hit a target, they hit a target and then they let it go. Atanzo watch chibina kwendito ina chongamba. Ayi chibina jireke chibina motoka. Era the people that don't know chibina. Mulikubya mwe. Good morning Vianney. How are you today? Yeah, good morning Joseph. How are you? So anyway, before you buy a car, you just have to think about what should be your investment. I normally, especially when it comes to spending, last week I was very ready to buy another car. Today I don't want. I did the numbers and it doesn't add up. And sometimes it's not like you cannot afford it, but you just do the numbers, add 1 to 1, and if 1 to 1 doesn't make 2, then you let it go. Right? So sometimes it's just you adding the figures together, and then you stop. And away from the cost, Katumazo Okumanya, you need to think, do I really need the car? Why do I need the car? How much is it going to cost me? And am I willing to invest that much money in a car? Do I really need to invest in it? And then Once you have decided that you're willing to invest that amount of money that you have decided to invest, okay, I'm going to invest this money. Now comes the next few steps that you're going to do. You're going to first look at suppliers. Business, if you're doing a business buy or a business purchase, then you need to know who your supplier is and get a number of suppliers. If you're buying your personal car, you need to talk to a number of brokers. This is something that I normally tell you. Call people, call brokers, call bond owners, talk to your neighbors, find out who is selling, how much are they selling. Then once you figured out how much people are selling, then also figure out the market itambulator. How much is the car that you want to buy in the market? Sometimes you'll buy a car thinking it's going to be very expensive in the long run. Sometimes you'll buy a car and think that Baku said day, but in the end you might figure out that Baku said you've actually bought it very cheaply. And so it's important to know what market conditions exist, and it's also important to know how are you buying, because if you're buying on credit, I'll tell you that, for example, you can get a parcel at around 21 million, 22 million, but if you're buying on credit, you'll buy it at 25 because you're buying on credit. Sometimes you may not know why, and sometimes you may actually get that parcel at 21 million on credit. Why? There's a term they use in the bonds, a car that has stayed for too long, because remember in the bonds they pay about 10,000 per day for bond parking. So a person might decide to sell it to you I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it depends on who you're buying from, how you're buying, where you're buying, and so many other factors. So once you know the market price, go and do pre-purchase inspection. That's very important, especially for guys that are buying old cars. Like when we went to buy the Noah, we saw five new Noahs, numberless. And of the five Noahs, only 2 had good engines. Now the good thing with the new car is that you will buy that new car, and when I say new car, I've seen this thing happen with people. When I say new car, then the guys say, even Japan used. Yes, it's new here for us in Uganda. So we saw 5 Noahs and 3 of them had bad engines. Now the good thing with new cars is that even with a bad engine, you can still drive a new car for a very long time without knowing. Or you can drive it for a very long time, the engine in full, and you are surviving on the road because the car is new. But that doesn't mean that you should not inspect. So do pre-purchase inspection, and of course, even with the new cars, always janga as an accident, always janga as a damage. I already told you guys that with cars, there are classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the numbers represent how good a car is. Bad cars are cheap for traders to get from Japan or wherever they're getting them from. Good cars are expensive. So you may find that this guy bought a Iziumion at 32, and then another one bought the same model of Rumion at 36. Now the difference will not only be a supplier, the difference might also be the amount of damage on the car. That's why you need to sometimes buy from trusted bonds, or sometimes you need to do very good inspection. Sometimes some cars have resetted mileages. So those are things that you need to consider before you buy a car. The guys that are going to be buying old cars, like you come and buy that Subaru. You see the Subaru in front of me. It's a UBM, but it's old. It has been driven on Ugandan roads. It's probably eaten like 3 million in repairs from the owner. So with that car, you need to do actual inspection, because if a person bought this Subaru UBM, they have not driven it for 5 years. Why are they selling? Now someone is going to tell you, no, I want to upgrade in Zembuga Kanamba. So you need to figure out, why are they selling? Why are they not keeping their new Subaru? That new Subaru is still new. Upgrading. And there are so many reasons. Sometimes the car is overheated. Sometimes mechanic they are eating a lot of his money and the car is not getting better. There are problems with the cars that you'll never know. It's only the owner that can tell you that, you know what, that this car has you first own it for like a month and then you start figuring out the problems. But during pre-purchase inspection, you'll figure out that a person that knows more than you about cars will find out what the problem is. So don't forget to do pre-purchase inspection, whether you're buying a new car or a used car. Now it doesn't matter who you go with, just make sure you don't go with a person that knows less than you. Just make sure when you go to buy a car and you want to do pre-purchase inspection, you go with a person that knows more than you. That's a very important thing. Totwala omuntu gwosinga okumanya okukeberera emmoroka ajja kutomeza, and I will tell you, and we have been hearing these things. You don't want to wake up one day and say gayo tanjagaliza twagenda okugula emmoroka yali tamanyi. So you need to go with someone that knows more than you, but you also need to go with someone that you can trust. Don't go with someone that you can't trust. The moment you have red flags with someone, the moment we should not ignore red flags, and red flags don't only exist with the relationship between man and woman or boyfriend and girlfriend. Red flags exist in every relationship. So the moment you see red flags, tandika okwesala ku muntu in that transaction. If you get red flags with cars, oyo muntu mwesale ko ne bwaba yeye mwenyini ta confirm means a red flag is a red flag. So go do pre-purchase inspection. Now once you have bought your car, the first thing that I always tell people, emmotoka ne bwo gikuzenga ya bondi mpya, genda okole service. Go do service. There is totally no reason why you don't do service. Mbwe moroka nakajijja mu bondi eringa simu tiriyanda tiribadde emoroka bali bagivuga. Go change oil. Ekintu kyesiba kati mwabagula moroka empya, don't change gearbox oil. Leave the gearbox oil alone, but go change oil, engine oil. Go change engine oil. Change the oil filter, change the air filter, change the cabin air filter. Okay, check on the plugs. Don't change the plugs, but check on the plugs. Check on the brakes. Okay, and also make sure that the tires that are on your car are actually okay. I don't know if I make sense. That's the first service you're going to do. Okay, now sometimes people forget to do this. Check if the car has valid third party, especially for you guys that buy old cars. After you buy a car that has been parked for some time, you don't check third party. Check police receipts for the guys that are buying. Of course, that should be part of pre-purchase inspection. Check multiplex. Check parking services in that in a short code where you can check the balances. But this multiplex has it. The pre-purchase inspection, what is it supposed to tell you? The pre-purchase inspection is supposed to tell you what repairs you will need to do when you finally own the car. The pre-purchase inspection is supposed to help you understand what procedures are supposed to take. You need to figure out how much you're going to spend in terms of transfer. For some cars, transfer will cost you 200,000. For other cars, transfer will cost you 400,000. For some cars, it will cost you 500,000. But you may not know that until you actually do the necessary checks. So those are some of the checks that we do for people that hire us for pre-purchase inspection, and it's normally smooth. Now, Uganda has been. Ugandans have gone through a lot, so Ugandans don't trust anyone. Normally, when we buy a car, we make sure that we leave with transfer forms, and if we don't, we make sure that we can actually get the transfer forms and we tell you when the transfer will be effected. And apparently abantu baba bienyo, so you guys have realized you guys don't have trust at all. I had a person that bought, remember the Primo that I displayed here. He went up country and he left money for transfer. Of course, we deducted some of the money from the person that was selling to us, and we told him that a transfer will be effected. And bam msajja watu, he feared to even put a new radio, feared to put his woofer, feared to do all the things the Malidadi he wanted to do in his car, because well, the transfer wasn't going through very fast. Apparently the car was in a company name, and company cars are not as easy to transfer as individual cars. It takes some process. Sometimes you need a letter, you need authorization. It takes a few more procedures to be effected. But he kept telling me, Arthur, transfer yang in Nagwa, Arthur, transfer yang in. I told him, please relax. Eventually, when it was done, he texted me and he was very happy and he said, okay, finally, can take him radio yang and Pia SC yang and all that. So when you work with Arthur, I want you to try and trust him. There's another transfer that is being done for the Harrier. When we left the carbon, we left to transfer forms. So that one, I'm very sure that it will be affected. Sometimes the transfers don't get affected because the URA system or something. I tell you, I'm not there. I'm not engaged personally, but I have people that I trust that can do those things and do them properly. I have a team that is around me that makes things happen. Because you can't do everything to sort of take it double. Good morning, Preacher Joseph. Corolla JDK. Corolla motor car. I bought a Toyota Vanguard for my madam, but still I feel it's overrated. Subaru XT is better. Subaru is a good car in terms of handling, because Subarus are in a way performance cars. The Vanguard is a luxury SUV. It's not a performance car, so it can never perform like the Subaru. And also, you have to understand that you are a Subaru fan. I find that RAV4s are overrated. It's an SUV, but Corolla yango mgongo te gunuma. Oida ntula mchito ne mpulira nga nchito debret. Na RAV4 tula mungu oli what. That has never been comfortable. Arthur, I saw your wish review 2007 for a lady. Let's book her wish in advance. I need a wish soon before Xmas. I have no idea. She's Kenyan, so I don't think she's even in the country anymore. I think she drove her car to Kenya. Can you know if the mileage was reset? No, you can't unless you have an OBD scanner. You can't, so that's the chance you're going to take. But Mubondi was resetting because they know that you guys that buy cars from the bond want cars that have low mileage, so they will reset it. It's the OBD scanner that can show you the true mileage of a car. How much is a Corolla field a foreign use from a bond? And I think in the bond it's about 38 million right now, and outside the bond you can even get it 26, 27, as long as you're not picky about the number. But it can go higher depending on from where you're buying and all that. Brian Wanyama, good morning. Good morning, Chobe. Good morning, Andrew Okuni. Hope you guys are doing well. So today we are trying to dissect the things. Vianney, what did you look at before you bought your Vanguard? Because your Vanguard is from the bond. So tell us what you considered before buying your Vanguard, so that people can actually understand what you need to follow before you go and buy your next car. I need you guys to note that I don't accept advertisement in the comments on days that are not Market Tuesday. So if anybody came and advertise something here, I'll delete the comment because it's not Market Tuesday. So it's only Market Tuesday that will allow you to actually come and market stuff. You can market anything from cars to garages to, you can market anything. Arthur, as if prices are going down slightly. For which cars? For which cars? The only way prices are going to go down is if the president actually does what we think he's going to do, if he allows people to import their old cars. But still the taxes will be high. because the condition will be that you pay the tax at the port of entry like Mombasa or Dar es Salaam. I wanted which kindly advise costs and other stuff. I've tried Gigi app na eba fere kastochi tegedde ba fere nabagamba bobononya wish ennungi olina okuba ne million nga 16 kwambuka waggulu kati bobo inawezeka once wa 16 million, then don't be picky about number plates. Bakuletera you AY nga namuvuga, bakuletera you AZ nga namuvuga. Wachitegera. Actually now if anyone asks me what he needs when buying a car, it's only paying inspection to Arthur or CDK. Thank you, Remy. Good morning, Nathan. So but I thought to myself that the biggest thing you should be thinking about before you buy a car is it worth it? And do I really need it? Personally, I even went to buy a car nga ngenze kusasula. Nintuka nga bagisasudde. Manyize ngula za busubuzi nze sigula kwagala. Nze njagala motoka ya busubuzi. Nga if I buy it, if I tell you guys come and pay for this car, you'll come and pay for it and I get profit. Nze bwento bwengula. So nali nfunye motoka y'obusubuzi naye abasubuzi ne bansookayo ne bagigula. And the way you buy those cars is obusubuzi. You just need to have money, have cash, and wait. But afterwards, then I was thinking, it was Eid and a public holiday, so we had time to think. I was thinking, I thought I don't think I want it. I don't think I want it. Of course, there is a specific need I wanted it for, but I think I can use a much lesser budget for what I wanted without actually buying a car, and I would achieve the same thing. So I'm re-strategizing and finding a much more cost-effective way to achieve what I wanted to achieve. Just like that, I trashed the idea of getting another car. I think that's the most important thing you need to think about before you actually go ahead and buy a car. What do I need it for? And then you do the numbers, and then you think to yourself, I want this car to do this. Can't I do and use another thing to do that? And then no gata math, and then you decide. So now normally I use my own examples because then I can bring the point home. I can bring the point home without struggling. For you that think what I'm saying, ndabaka children wano kali mukira madara tekabadde kabi. Ka children gwali singo gendo ogoberere. Like toyagala bwagazi kulaba ku children. Ndaba nze musajja omufungo ninge anengamba kati gwe chechi kugana okulaba. Anyway, then when you're buying a car, there are apps you should use for only price, to know what price is in the market. Gigi, actually, if you go to the cars that are on Gigi, most of them are promoted. By promoted means someone actually paid Gigi to have his car on like the front page. So kati abatuna mamoroka kumpi buli motoka eri ku Gigi eri promoted. Facebook, there are those groups where people post, where brokers post cars. That at least you could use. You could try and call and then go and check it out. Morning, Arthur. Please talk about Toyota Oppa. Toyota Oppa is the same as a Primo new model engine. The Toyota Oppa, if you get the one that has a VVTi, of course there are Toyota Oppas that don't have VVTi engines. But of course, I only recommend you buy an Oppa with a VVTi engine, and that's the one that has the engine that is in the Primo new model. So it's 1.8 cc, 1.8 liter, like JK would say, and yeah, you'll enjoy driving it. Of course, it doesn't have as high ground clearance like the Toyota Primo. It's not as prestigious as the Primo. It's going to be using the same fuel. Okay, the other thing that I've been, it's very sustainable, Frank Waswa, it's very sustainable. Anukogamba atali mu class. Oh no, tali mu kirasi nawe. Njala mtu alaba musabide. banga aina asuse kati agenze mulevo jotandika okweralikira mutugamba na ikichi. So people have been, I have like 2 people that have been talking to me and they have a budget of 8 million. And I will tell you what I've been telling these guys. With 8 million, the only car that has a VVTi engine that you can get is a Toyota Vitz. That's the only car you can get at 8 million. And you'll be getting a 900cc version. If you get the one that has 1.3, the engine is going to be bad. It might disturb you. And that engine will cost you about 3.5 to replace. So 8 plus 3.5, that makes about 12 million plus labor. Which take it, because a Vitz of 1.3 liter would probably cost you 12 million as well. So 8 million, the only VVTi car, engine car that you may get will probably be the Vitz. And if there are these other rare cars, the DB, the Toyota Wheel, those rare cars, they're uncommon first of all, but also you will find that they are not, even repairing them is quite expensive. And away from repairing them, they don't have resale value because it's very rare to find someone that wants them. So you can get a VVTi car that is rare. The DB, Nissan Cube, then the wheel, there is that wheel, it's shaped like a spaceship. Yeah, morning Arthur, what is the market price of a Subaru Forester 2004, no matter the number plate? 2004, isn't it about 15? I'm imagining. So a slightly used Wish is about around 16. Then about a Bond Wish. Bond Wish was like a 30 million asatu bili. Asatu mobili kwa asatu munana, depending on the model. Yeah, depending on the model, Chris Fitness. So are the car prices on Facebook more realistic? Yeah, on Facebook car prices are much more realistic. Of course, mobile broker commission, but they are more realistic than Gigi. But you have to also understand that Facebook sometimes you'll find someone posting the same car more than once. But Facebook might be a better place for you to go and look than Gigi. Gigi could do the car and not for only cars, for everything. Gigi could do the car we would need probably someone from here that is in the IT field to develop an app that is much more genuine than Gigi. Arthur, I want a sedan of less than 8 million for special hire. Which car do you recommend? Chikumi, Chivina, Primo old model, Mark II. Trying to see if I see. These days 8 million. But you people, I used to. There is a time that I thought 8 million was a lot of money, but these days 8 million. If you want to buy a car that won't disturb you, that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to buy a car that won't disturb you, 8 million is very small money. 8 million. Maybe Ipsum as well, because Ipsum you'll get a very good Ipsum, by the way, with 8 million. What? Maybe 8 million you can even get that new Voxe. But you said less than 8. Chibina, Chikumi. Primo old model. Chikumi, the real Chikumi. That's all I can tell you now. What about 12 million? I plan to raise that and get one. 12 million to get what? Sedan? At 12 million, if you're lucky, you can actually even get a Primo new model. It will have some work to do, but the engine will be okay at 12 million. Just don't be picky about the number plate. The issue is, most of you guys, you have your money, you come to Earth and you say, I want a UBA. And then your budget doesn't get a UBA. And sometimes you come when you've already given me the money. And now you put me in a very hard position. Like you say, I have 15 million, I want a UBB wish. And then you even sit and say, sometimes you really give me hard time. So 12 million you can get. 12 million is not a bad budget. But at 12 million, regardless of the car, don't be picky about the number. But you're looking for a Ipsam. Don't be too picky about the number plate. Arthur, why are you saying Gigi got conmen? I buy things from there all the time and have never been scammed. I've not said that. I've not said that you'll get scammed. But you read the comment from. I'm not the one that actually said it. Read the comment from. Read the comment from Nasari Annette. She says, I want a wish. Kindly advise cost and other stuff. Cause I've tried Gigi app, Naiba Fede. That's not my comment. So when you say that Arthur is saying, Obanga Gamba Baranatiba Chiraba, I've also bought things from Gigi. Gigi Judaba Fede. When we say Uganda is full of lazy heads, we are not saying everyone in Uganda is lazy. But Ugandans are lazy generally. Most Ugandans are lazy. You go and try cars on Gigi. Just go and try. Don't go with me. Me, I no longer even look on Gigi. Because I've had people that came to me to do pre-purchase inspection and they came with contacts on Gigi. We went to the places where those contacts said the cars were and the cars were not there. And then they started showing us other cars. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So when we come to Gigi, okay, in terms of cars, since we are talking about cars, but even other things, after Primo Super could currently be going for how much? 10, 11. You know, the Primo Super is overpriced. That's me. I find that the Primo Super is overpriced. It's not worth the amount that they are trying to sell it. So today I'm helping a lady get a car. She already has her cars lined up. She either wants to buy Raum's Pasio or what was that car? Raum's Pasio. Yeah, but she has her cars lined up, so we are just going to go and inspect and pick out the best. And then tomorrow, I'm helping a person that has 8 million buy a car. And yeah. So tomorrow I have 2. I told both of them to book. One of them booked. But the other one is also for credit. Because omuntu ayewola ate bameka abawola. Era tugenda mu kibanda ne tunoonya emoroka ennungi ne bamuwola ne tuva. That's like 1 hour, 2 hours, and you go back to the other person. So on Facebook, I have a bad experience. They posted Alphard at a good price, but when you meet the guy, he tells you it has been just taken and he directs you to a bad car or more expensive one. That's the same thing that happens with Gigi. That's why I'm saying that all these platforms, you have to be very careful. You have to call brokers directly and you tell them what you want and then they'll tell you where it is. He posted Alphard, but when we call him to meet Yajat Azungani Nadia Ngamvungu. Yeah, it happens, but that is mostly, and it's the brokers that are on Gigi are the same brokers on Facebook. Bebamu, and they keep on changing names. By the way, they keep on changing names. On Gigi they scammed me when we were looking for an apartment for rent. Ndozo Chiraba, Arthur, can I get a good Alex at 15? Yes, you can. You can, eh? Alex is $1 million, but at 15 you can still get. Good, you know, good is subjective. For me, it might not be good. What? Chris? That's a lot of money, guys. You know, Basil, the person I'm supposed to meet is calling me. I found a way of putting airplane mode. So now I have to call this person back. Wait, 2.5 is a lot of money to lose. But anyway, before you buy a car, first of all, find out if you really need the car, and then find out what you're going to use the car for and if it's worth it. Then find out how much you really want to invest in that car and whether it's actually worth the investment. And then find if you really don't have other alternatives to buying that car. and then do pre-purchase inspection. Of course, go to the market. Never back to Najawa Arthur, go to the market and see prices, and then line up options. Like the lady I'm going to help today, she lined up options, and then call Arthur for pre-purchase inspection, or call whoever you want to do pre-purchase inspection for you, and then go do pre-purchase inspection. But the other thing I've been telling you time and again, don't look at only one car, look at a number of cars. Watch Teged. Arthur, make sure you give us those stories, the aftermath from those 2 buys. I'm going to tell you the story of the Noah on Saturday. Saturday, normal business. I'm no longer that busy. So Saturday evening, I'm going to be live. So let me go through the names, guys. Martha Director, Martha Academy, Lemon Solomon, Ejuka Blair, Lubura Chris Fitness. Lubura, you need to come and I host you on my show to Lagemoko Kubantu Fitness in the Malakoe when my podcast finally starts. Herbert Businje Mark, Asiku Patrick, Paul Banaria, Mansur Hanifa, Benjamin B, Muonge Richard, Baluku Nobat, Jerome, Chris Da Vinci, Vincent, Asiku Patrick, Kanso Wafe, Kabusu Vianney, Balikudembe Joseph, Preacher Joseph, Brian Wanyama, Nelson Chobe, Okuni Andrew, Nasari Annette, Edrin Mugerwa, Remy Lewis, Juko Nathan, Frank Waswa, Eric, Oriech Eric, Funny Lifestyle, Nicholas Kaziwe, Steven Tatawe, Chechiro Tatawe, Arthur make okay. So guys, I have to say bye-bye. May God bless you today, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow is Question Friday. Come and ask any question you have on your mind. And don't forget, I do pre-purchase inspection. If you want to buy a car, and sometimes maybe if you don't have an idea, you have an idea, but you don't want to go alone, I'm your guardian angel, guys. I come with a mechanic, and I make sure that you get a good deal. May the Lord bless you today. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Question Friday, don't forget. Come and answer questions. Come and answer questions. Come and answer questions. So tomorrow, Question Friday, so that we don't have questions for I wish you a very nice day. Ciao.